All right, so guys, here's another problem. This is a homework problem this is question number 5 from homework 7. And we're factoring polynomials of the type ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so the directions here say that we need to factor the trinomial by grouping. Okay, so y'all, I did a problem earlier today where we were able to factor out the greatest common factor from all three pieces, and then we ended up with a problem that was a little bit easier. So this one here, I can't factor anything out of all three pieces. And so what they're basically telling us in these types of problems is that the number in front of the x squared is not going to be equal to 1, okay? It's going to be 4, it's going to be 3, it's going to be 7, it's going to be some number, okay? But it's not going to be equal to 1. So the way I do these is I'm going to rewrite the problem 4x squared minus 4x minus 15, okay? And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the first number and the last number. So 4 times negative 15 is giving me the number negative 60. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of all the numbers that I know that multiply to negative 60. So let's start, I don't know, 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10, and I think those are all the numbers that multiply to negative 60. Now, if you notice, when I multiply those numbers, y'all, I'm only getting 60, and I need to really get a negative 60, right? Because we multiplied the first number and the last number. So what that means is I'm going to have to make one of these numbers positive and one of these numbers negative. So let me show you the way you can do that. The way you're going to figure this out, we're going to look at the sign of the middle number. So the sign of the middle number, y'all, is negative. So what that means is if you notice, these numbers over here are bigger than those numbers over there, okay? Whatever sign I have here, in this case it's negative, the bigger numbers will have that sign, okay? So now I made the 60 a negative 60, negative 30, negative 20, negative 15, negative 12, negative 10, right? Now, remember what grouping says is I'm going to look for the numbers that multiply to negative 60, but if I add them together, they would give me a negative 4. Well, look at those numbers, 6 and negative 10. Let me use the black marker because it's probably easier. These right here. If I take 6 and negative 10 and I add them together, I would get that negative 4. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on the next slide so because I have more room. I'm going to rewrite the problem. 4x squared, okay? Now, instead of me writing a negative 4x, I'm going to write negative 4 using those two numbers right there. I'm going to use a positive 6 and a negative 10. So I'm going to write this as a plus 6x, a minus 10x, and then my last number was a minus 15, okay? If I were to combine those together, we would end up with that negative 4. All I did is really rewrite it, okay? All right, now that we have that, let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to do the grouping method. The grouping method says, let's just look at these two pieces. Forget about the rest of it, just what I put in the box. What can I factor out of there? Well, they both have an x, so I'm going to take an x out. And between 4 and 6, we can actually take out the number 2. So 2 goes into 4 twice. We had 2 x's. We took one of them out. We're still left with an x. And 2 goes into 6 3 times. We had an x, but we took it out, so we don't have any other x's. Okay? Now, we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to look at these two pieces. The first thing I want you to notice is that there's a negative right there. Anytime this first piece is a negative, whatever number we're thinking about taking out, we need to make sure it's negative. So between 10 and 15, we can take out a negative 5. Okay? So now remember I'm dividing. Negative 10 divided by a negative 5 is a positive 2. And I still have that x. Let's do the same thing over here. A negative 15 divided by a negative 5 is a positive 3. Now, if this piece here and this piece here match up, we did this right. So my final answer is going to be 2x plus 3. I'm taking this part, these two together, I'm collapsing them into one. They're going to be my common factor. And then the other pieces are going to be these together, 2x minus 5. Okay, so I hope this helps. If y'all have any more questions, please let me know. You know I'm happy to help.